I think it was a guy at the grocery store one time that was so close to me I could feel his body heat.
I know. Sometimes
it's like, have you lost your goddamn mind? Get the fuck off of me.
Sometimes people get something close to me, I like pull my purse a little. I'm like, why are you so close?
Like,
are you trying to take something off of me?
We are not in line at basic training. You don't need to be nut to butt with me.
Are we in a relationship? Because why are you that close to my body? Damn.
Yeah, why the fuck are you trying to get in my back pocket? I'm not that. I don't do that shit.
Are you Moby? Are you trying to climb in my soul? What the fuck?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, yeah. So I don't. I just it just annoyed me on so many levels. So anyway, now the white woman is suing the Nigerian woman
for what exactly?
Personal anguish and like all this stuff.
Oh, then I'd be like, all right,
I hope somebody has some fucking common sense when it comes down to that.
If I was that Nigerian woman, I'd be like, okay, here's your countersuit for whatever you're asking,
and
tripled.
I have video evidence, bitch.
Exactly.
And that was another thing. She kept trying to give them, the police, the video, and they wouldn't take it.
Then I'd give it to the media.
Well,
be like, you don't want to do your job the right way? I'll make sure everybody fucking knows.
So somebody started a GoFundMe for the Nigerian woman's legal fees.
Good.
So thank God
that seems reasonable.
Right. Thank God it's not going to ruin her, trying to defend herself. It's just a fucked up situation. But Karening, would he be a Ken if it's a man?
Yeah, people call it Ken.
I thought it was a Kyle.
Maybe it's Kyle. Yeah.
Or is it a Chad?
No,
Chad.
It's probably all of them.
Chad is like
douchebag.
Yeah, Chad's
is
like
a douchebag.
Like
okay,
that's
then what is Kyle? It's Kyle.
Kyle, Karen's and Kyle.
Okay.
That's becoming like a fucking epidemic. I saw this is.
That's because these people haven't got their ass beaten.
I understand.
Don't get punched. I'm telling you, that bitch went charging at me.
Oh,
she'd have met nose to fist.
Yeah, she wouldn't have got a second chance.
Well, it would have been very simple, self-defense. She came charging at me. I felt like she was gonna harm me.
And when I say that, people may take it the wrong way. I'm not in favor of just randomly hitting women or guys for that matter.
No,
but if you are gonna charge me like a crazy person,
you're gonna get hit.
I am going to hit you with my full body weight.
Like, what you need to understand, like, the way she charged her, it was like the cartoon,
like Psycho Mad Woman.
It was
like a bull charging.
Yeah, like it was like the cartoons of like a bull or a rhino charging people. Like,
yeah, see, and that's the thing.
Super aggressive.
I'm not playing. I'm going to pivot on my back foot. I'm going to keep my wrist straight, and I'm going to put 250 pounds of body weight straight through my fist. And if I break a knuckle, well, fucking oh well. But at least everybody in the world is going to see that you acted like a dumbass and karma caught you.
Well, when we came up,
that's like that. What if the guy in line and the dude was hollering the N-word?
Oh, the dude with the twisted teeth.
And the dude took the twisted
nailed
teeth.
his ass. Yeah.
Awesome.
Shit out of him.
Yeah, that was great. I love that. I almost bought a case of Twisted Tea just because it's like that's literally a can of whoop ass. That's awesome.
Dude was minding his own business until the guy involved him, and then he's like, nah.
Yeah, exactly. It's because people do that shit because people don't. Because people
get away
let
with it.
When we were coming up, it was understood that actions have consequences.
Usually immediate.
You have the freedom to do whatever, but I have the freedom to whoop your ass about it.
Yeah.
And that's not a thing anymore, and people just think that they can do or
whatever.
Say whatever strikes
or act
them.
however.
Y'all got to hear this. This one...
Is this the TikTok thing that you were waiting for? Okay.
I mean, when I tell you it made me shake, it made me so mad.
Because Amber and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so we're about to learn.
I wanted to
we're going to learn today.
Yeah, okay. So this happened. It was another white Karen.
Okay.
This was in New York.
All right.
There was an Asian man.
Okay.
Oh.
He's on the street. It must have been early morning on like a weekend or something because it wasn't like the sidewalks weren't packed. Mm-hmm. And he's walking his dog. He does not have his dog on a leash because he says his dog is trained. And like I wouldn't walk my dog on the streets of New York without a leash.
But no,
for my dog's
crazy.
safety.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's neither here nor there.
Mine don't listen.
Right.
That's what the problem is.
Thank God his does.
But there are dogs that they're very well trained.
Yeah, I'm just saying mine personally don't listen worth the fuck at all.
And he had a coffee cup in his hand. And so I feel like it was an early morning walk. He was getting his coffee. This woman, and she was probably in her 60s.
Okay.
Waspy looking white woman.
By the way, anybody that doesn't know, WASP stands for White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Yes, I mean she
could be Catholic, and that just fucks your whole thing.
Yeah, but that Wasky
probably makes her worse.
Yeah. So anyway, And it's a small dog, probably about the size of Sookie. So not a big threatening dog.
20 pounds, 30
yeah,
pounds.
Yeah, just like big for a lap dog, but not a big dog.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog is right at the guy's leg.
Mm-hmm.
This woman just comes like out of nowhere. And
So she could have just minded her own fucking business.
Because it's
But
not
chose
like
not to.
All
Yeah.
Karens.
Yeah. Because somebody else, a bystander, is recording this. Because apparently she was like,
Across the street.
across
Like
the way.
the bystander, were they recording something and then
Yeah, because
that,
you see
or
the
it
camera
was
turn-
after? Okay,
Oh,
so
okay,
they were
okay.
already
like something got their
Okay.
attention and they turned, and you see this woman coming up from an angle, hollering at the man. And at first, you can see his body language. He's kind of like, huh? You know, she's like, why do you have your fucking dog off a leash? And he's like, well, my dog is really well trained. She doesn't
Why
leave.
aren't you on a leash?
No. Right then I'd have been like, I'm going to give you one chance to rephrase that.
And he's like, my dog won't leave me. She's trained, and we're just
She's also trained to kill people, so keep talking shit, bitch.
we're minding our business. And she's like, you can't do that. You just can't do that. And he's like, ma'am, we're not trying to bother you. We're just doing our thing. And she just keeps on. This is where I would have gone to jail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So she's like, oh, is that how you want to be? Just have your dog loose? She walks into the middle of the street and goes, come here, baby. Tries to call the dog into traffic.
What the fuck?
I'd have beat that shit bitch to death. I'd have killed her.
Yep.
Tried to call. Thank God the man's dog was well trained, because the dogs, you see the dog start to walk away, because she's like reaching down, hey baby, like calling the dog into traffic, and the man's like, no, and like tried to get the dog ran. And this other woman, not the one that's filming, she's also got coffee in her hand, and you can tell she's just strolling. She's got sunglasses on, and she comes up and she goes, excuse me, what the actual fuck is your problem? She's like, he's just got this dog out here that's just running around and not on a leash, and that's just not right. And she
See,
goes,
I'm not usually in favor of punching old people either, but that bullshit would have got her knocked out in the middle of the street.
and the lady goes, so you think an appropriate response is to get the dog hit by a car? Well, he needs to learn a lesson.
Oh my god. Well, I hope you get hit by a car.
Right.
Bitch, I'm going to teach you a lesson.
I was just like, I literally was shaking. I was so mad. I would have gone to jail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's just no. And I thought, wow. So her rule is so important that other people need to follow it.
Her rule.
Right. But it seemed like a reasonable response to call a man's pet dog into traffic to try to get him run over. What the fuck?
See, that number one, that's why I have no desire to go to any of those places. New York, New Jersey, anywhere up there.
Oh, it can happen here.
Oh,
It just
I
hasn't
know.
yet.
But anywhere where these fucking asswads are, I don't need to be, because I may seem like I've got it together, but I've got my temper can go from 0 to prison in about a half a second.
Well,
I'd have lost my mind.
my first response when she started coming at me screeching about leash, I'd have been like, well, bitch, where's your leash? Because you seem kind of rabid.
Well, yeah, like, you're a bigger distraction and problem, first of all, than the dog who's just minding his
Exactly.
business.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when she came running at me like that, I'd have been like, I'm going to give you one chance
To turn the fuck around
to
and go the other
rephrase
way.
whatever you're going to say
You
and
do
calm
you.
down a little bit. And then we're going to have a massive goddamn problem.
I saw one where this woman, it was a black woman, she was at an airport, and she saw, I think somebody in her family was in the military, and she saw this black
Oh my God, yeah.
this black man, he was military, so she walked up to him and they were just talking about military
Oh,
and
I saw
things.
what you're talking about.
And
They're
this-
in line.
No, they're standing like
Standing,
you
yeah.
know, like people are lined up to get on the plane and there's like chairs right here.
Yeah, they're just in that
standing
area.
next to the chairs,
Uh-huh.
next to the line, but they're not in line.
Right.
They're out of the way.
Not anybody's problem.
They're talking about the military and stuff. And this woman, I think she was probably like Middle Eastern. She kind of had that kind of skin tone. She just keeps. I mean, it had to be a solid 10 minutes. I kept having to skip ahead. There's a seat over there. Excuse me. There's a seat over there. You can sit over there. So I didn't ask if there were any seats. I'm fine right here. There's a seat there. There's a seat there. There's a seat over there. there's 2 seats right there. They're right next to each other. There's a seat right there. There's lots of seats. There's seats right there. And they're like, we're fine right here.
We're good, thanks.
And then finally, a woman that worked with the airline, she came up and she was like, what's the problem? I'm just telling them there's seats. There's seats right there. There's
I'm just counting seats.
She keeps going. There's a seat right there. There's 2 seats over there.
Like 10 minutes.
What was her deal?
I don't know.
Fucking crazy.
And then
were they close?
It was either,
like up in her bubble?
It was either because they were military or they were black. I guarantee it.
The Karen was probably where you are, so maybe a couple feet away.
So not really
no, they weren't in way of the line.
Yeah.
Dude should have turned his butt to her and farted. There, you go find one of those seats.
So the employee comes over and she's like, they can stand here and talk, they're fine.
Yeah, they're not hurting anybody.
I was just telling them where I'm just counting seats. There's one over there, there's one over there, there's 2 right there, there's lots of seats, there's one right there, and she won't fucking stop.
She's like fixated.
She keeps repeating and repeating, and then finally they just start
like an autistic child.
Yeah. They finally start ignoring her, and you could tell she's still got the camera rolling. They're just having their military conversation, and then probably 10 minutes later, a police officer comes up and they escort her out of line. But I was just like,
good.
What the fuck?
And then a lot of people started coming up to that woman. They're like, you were so good with
You were so calm.
Yeah, you were so calm. I could not have done that.
Well, it's like, how weird. It's like, okay, well.
Because the woman went from nothing, she's just standing in the line, to there's a seat there, there's a seat there, there's 2 right there, you can sit over there, there's seats over there, there's 2 right there, there's 2 seats across from each other.
I want to say this, and I may get some hate for this or whatever, but when shit like this happens, you see people comment about, oh, well, they probably have a mental disability, they have this, they have that.
That's not my problem.
Well, here's the
then they need to have someone, a caretaker with them.
I don't give a fuck what their issue is.
Yep.
When they start touching someone,
or encroaching on,
or verbally abusing someone, it doesn't fucking matter what your issue is.
Harm to someone or something.
Yeah. And then I think finally the black woman was talking. I don't know if it was the police officer or the employee, but she's like, because they were getting on the same flight.
Oh, God.
And she was telling her,
my luck that we'd have been sitting right by
she was telling the Karen, why don't you sit down? I'm in line. Okay, well then just stand in line. And then she was telling someone, I feel for my safety if we're going to be on the same flight, and I don't think they let her on the flight.
Oh, really?
Good.
Well, she was obviously
escorted her out of line.
She was obviously mentally unstable too. And don't get me wrong, that's not an excuse.
No.
These motherfuckers that act like this, I think that a real quick way to dissolve the Karen culture, you start acting like you crazy, we gonna put you on a 72-hour hold.
I love how people,
but I have to go to work Monday. I don't give a fuck.
Too fucking bad, huh?
I love how people were like, oh, they're mentally unstable, you should be nice. Okay.
No.
Look at all these school shooters and people that mass shootings.
They're mentally unstable too.
Are you going to make fucking excuses for them?
Yes.
They do.
They actually do.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing. The Victoria's Secret Karen, that's what they were doing. People in person, in line, like standing around, and comments. That's what they were doing. Well, she clearly has an anxiety disorder.
She clearly needs to get the fuck out of here.
No. An anxiety disorder won't make you charge at someone.
Screaming.
You know, she obviously has something mentally or emotionally or both going on, but that is not the problem of the Nigerian woman or anyone else.
Yeah,
it's your responsibility.
Yeah, that's your shit.
If you're going to be in public...
You can't act like a rational person.
If you're going to have a breakdown, you can leave the fucking store.
Well, and if you're going to be in public around other people, you have to act...
in a socially acceptable way.
Behave normally and not...
It doesn't matter what your fucking issue is.
Endanger other people, or you need to stay the fuck home.
Yeah, exactly, because your problems are not my problem.
Right, they shouldn't limit what I can do with my life. And I have all the sympathy in the world for people with issues, but that doesn't mean...
That doesn't give them a pass.
They don't get a free pass just to act however and abuse whoever.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. You can have compassion and care about their problems without saying, well, it's okay. She's fucked up, so she gets to abuse this woman and put her life in jeopardy. That's not how that works.
And I'm telling you, that woman had every right to fucking put her down.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, because I don't feel like I'm conveying how violently she charged her. Like,
yeah, it was full of rage.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was not like...
It was a rage.
Yeah, it wasn't like a... get in my
Attack.
face and find out. Like,
Right.
it was a no. It was unhinged.